Welcome to Toad TV. I am Mary Beth.
I'm Helen.
And we are the creative hands and minds behind Toad Hollow, where we dye yarn and make bags for creative people. And this is our podcast where we talk about all sorts of crafty things. Yep. You can find us all over as Toad Hollow NJ, Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, all Toad Hollow NJ. On Ravelry, we are the Crafty Toads. And we have a Facebook group that is called Crafting with the Toads, where you can come and share your projects. Yep. And enable us and make us want to start all the things. Because that's happening.
Yeah.
Okay. So. We have lots of things to talk about today. We've got a little bit of knitting. We've got some cross stitching. We've got some sewing. And shall we start with questions?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because we had a bunch of questions. We put up a couple of videos last week. We did our newest Toad's Tale. Thank you so much for all the nice comments that we got from that. Thank you very, very much. We had a couple of people ask us if we were going to publish them. We need to find an illustrator because the illustrations that we take are creative inspiration.
No right to.
From we cannot reproduce and sell. So we need to find an illustrator that will be able to do it with us, and that hasn't happened yet. So not yet, but it is kind of percolating now. We also put up a video about our review of Where the Crawdads Sing. So if you've read it and you're interested in that, that is also one of our videos. All right, so questions. We had lots of questions and comments. All right, so Yolanda Porter wants to know, or Yolanda Potier wants to know how we decided to dye our own yarn. Well, Helen decided that she wanted to dye yarn, and I said I was never ever going to do it. And then she started dyeing it, and I started giving her instructions on how to dye the yarn to make the colors that I wanted, and she told me to dye my own damn yarn, and this is what happened.
A slight approximation of what actually
Helen starts these things, and I'm like, I do not want to have anything to do with that, and then she starts, and I'm like, oh, I want to do that now. Helen we started by making bags, and Helen pointed out that and rightfully so, we kept hearing from people that they had too many of our bags, which really crazy. But she said, if people have too much of the bags, then you provide them with the thing that is.
we needed to go with the consumable.
The consumable. That's the word I'm thinking expendable, but it's not expendable. The consumable part of knitting. So that is how it happened. We started dyeing about 3.5 years ago.
Probably. Yeah, because we're coming up on our 4th anniversary of our podcast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so about 3.5 years.
Okay. All right.
It's all the podcast's fault.
Oh. Okay. Carol Waters wanted to know if we could give her a couple of titles of books that we love. She really enjoyed reading the Crawdads. If we could give her a couple of titles of books that we loved. No psychological thrillers, please.
We have a blog post from all our favorite books of 2019. So I will put a link down below of that, and then I will also put a link to both of our Goodreads pages, which is probably the best way to do that.
Okay, I will say Fanny Flagg. Anything by Fanny Flagg is wonderful. We have loved all the books that we've read by her.
Yeah, because actually probably our next book review is going to be the Whole Town's Talking.
Okay.
So
also Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine was a really good one that we read from last year. We read some really good ones last year.
We had a really good reading year last year. There were a couple of psychological thrillers, but not too many, because I don't generally like those either unless somebody like Mary Beth will say, no, read this one.
Right. We just finished doing, and it's actually going to be winding up next week, The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex Harrow. We loved it. Absolutely loved it. So that was a great book, but I think it's very popular right now because everybody who's trying to rent it from the library is like number 252 or something.
January's one that you're gonna have to, if you want to read it right now, buy.
Yeah. But that one, I would recommend buying it. It was great.
Yeah.
So
use up your Audible credit or whatever. Yeah. Yeah,
those are a couple just off the top of my head. where the Night Circus is one that we always recommend by Erin Morgenstern. So that one, try that one because that one's really good too. Okay. Sally's Backyard wanted to know if we are going to be dyeing yarn to match the 10,000 Doors of January.
Maybe not the cover, but we do have some ideas.
Yeah.
On some
doors.
Yeah.
So, yes, there may be. I'm not sure. We have to discuss it, but
yeah, we have our fairy tales and everything. That's kind of an immediate thing. So we just have to.
But yeah, it's definitely one of the ones that we loved enough to do some doors to go with it.
Because I mean, we'll talk about it when we read the book.
Yeah.
I kind of finished that book and thought, well, there you go. Read my best book of the year already.
Right.
So.
Oh, by the way, going back to Carol, when Helen finished The Whole Town's Talking by Fanny Flagg, she hugged the book. That's how much she loved it. Okay. So just to give you an idea. Okay. Darcy says that we should do pretend podcasts to fake our pets out once in a while so that they get used to them. Darcy, they're way too smart for us. We could try that, but that's not going to work. They're much smarter than we are.
Drew's a ringleader, and yeah, she just...
Also, we're on number 118 now, I think it is. You would think we might have, faked them out by now. No. Way too smart. May Stewart Olson says that we have to quit enabling her, and do we ever sleep? Actually, somebody else said the same thing. Do we ever sleep? I have to say that napping is one of my favorite hobbies.
I would also like to point out that Meredith and I have the benefit of no children.
Yes. So, there is that. And
we don't feel the need to clean. So. However, the no children is a big thing. So.
Also, we have, our commute to work is walking from the kitchen to the dining room. So
there's a commercial for Audible where it's so good because she goes, he's going, oh, so you're really liking Audible, and she's like, oh, it's perfect for the commute, and her commute is terrible. She gets on the bus, and then she's on a ferry, and then there's the subway, and you're just thinking, oh my god, and then she comes home, and he's like, okay, but you work from home.
And she does this whole circuitous thing so
she can listen to Audible. So
I totally understand.
Yeah.
Okay, Connie wants to know if we have separate sewing rooms or if we share one.
We share a room and a table.
We do share a table, and for the most part, it's okay when we're working on bags and stuff. For the most part, it's okay.
Yeah.
However, when we've both been working on quilts, it's getting a little touchy.
Yeah. No, we are working on clearing an area where we can each kind of have our own table.
Yeah.
Because now that we're quilting and quilting at the same time, we face each other on the table, and it's like quilts coming at you. And
it's not that wide a table. So. D says, she wanted to warn us about checking the lint catcher if we're drying our rag quilt because it makes lots of lint and can cause the dryer to overheat. And Cheryl and somebody else both said to watch the washer because you can blow out the motor. Cheryl suggests that we take it to a laundromat, and I'm 100% behind that. I think if I ever get it done, it's going to be washed and dried at the laundromat.
Yeah.
Thank
you everybody, because we would never have.
No, I would have done it here.
Made some very expensive mistakes.
Yeah, so
if
thank
we
you
can't
very
afford.
much.
So.
Judy Gibbons suggested Dresden plates as a type of quilt that uses jelly rolls, and we were looking those up, and oh my god, they're gorgeous. So thank you so very much for sending me down yet another quilting rabbit hole, because now I have to go and...
Because this is when we found, and look how pretty that is. So we have to go buy the Dresden ruler, and
it's so pretty. So thank you
I'm
very
really
much.
good at buying all the supplies I need to do stuff.
Okay, so Ginny wants to know, she said, you talk about stitching, quilting, and book journaling plans, but not about knitting and crochet plans. Do you rotate knitting and crochet projects too, or are they just picked up ad hoc? This one I really thought about for a while, because for me, knitting is the end of the day what I just fall into.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't plan it. It's It's just there at the end of the day that because it's the oldest thing I've done. Everything else craft wise is much, much more recent. So that knitting.
Yeah, I mean, I can knit without looking.
Right.
I can.
Tabitha.
I mean, now that we dye yarn, generally most of what we are knitting is with a sample in mind or something like, show off the yarn. So, and I don't plan it out.
Knitting wise?
Yeah, because I don't get as excited, and that's coming out wrong.
But it's true.
I get very excited about the quilting and the cross stitch because it's new, and it's like, and I'm watching other people do it, and that's how they do it, is they have their special days and that kind of thing. And as Mary Beth said, it's just, oh, well, there's my knitting.
Right.
And I have a rotation going in my head of the projects that I'm working, where I work on, one is one day, one's another day. But I don't have specific days like today I'm going, today's hat day.
Right. Okay. Tabitha's back feet are on my leg and front feet are on Helen's leg. She's purring because she's very happy. No, I don't. I have, but I don't do as many projects with knitting either. I have a pair of socks and a project that I can't show until next week because it's with February's yarn, so I can't show it ahead of time. And then my blanket that I have going. And other than that, that's pretty much all I have going right now with knitting. I do not crochet very much.
You do have a basket full of whips.
Yes, I have a basket full of whips, and I've got 3 sweaters that are in partial stages of finishing. But as far as what I'm working on right now, I have 3 projects. And I don't crochet. I have crocheted a blanket. I actually, one of my whips, I believe, is a partially finished blanket. I'm not even sure.
Hi, Paige.
That's Spike saying hello. For those of you who are new, that we have 2 dogs, Spike and Drusilla, and Spike likes to make his...
Spike's a teenager.
He likes to burp every now and then. Anyway, so for me... I don't have to plan it out so much just because I don't have that much going on. Right. Okay, moving on. Debbie Handy says that she loves her Bernina machine. She is a workhorse. If I ever get a chance to get a Bernina, I will definitely do it. However, they're a little bit out of my price range right now, so can't do that. She said she would hold up even to being slapped around a bit. Okay. Denise Jeffries wanted to know if we would share some of our favorite FlossTube podcasts on YouTube. We watch Teresa Kogut from, she is a designer, and she comes in and shows you her designs and what she's doing. She also does punch needles, so she's got gorgeous, gorgeous stuff.
There's Michelle Bendy from Bendy Stitches, Pretty Southern. She's fun to watch.
Right.
Amy Loves Toads is another one.
So those are a couple of them that are
and
good.
we'll link them down below.
Okay. Pamela, you made me laugh so hard. She says, things have to age before you can use them. Her husband believes this. The trim for the kitchen is aging in the garage since 2009. Which I love. I absolutely love that. So thank you very much. I laughed out loud at that. Jessica Kelly says that a book that we might like is Beneath a Scarlet Sky from Mark Sullivan. He lives in Bozeman, Montana, and it's based on it's a historical fiction based on a true story. So I have put that onto my list of things to get in the future. Thank you very much.
Cool.
Liz Clothier says, thank you so much for mentioning her hat. Just wait, because Helen's been working on it, and it's even better. It's so pretty. And there's also a cowl pattern that will be going with the hat. Yeah. So good things coming. Dave Mathis wanted to know if we would prefer you purchase from us on Etsy or our website.
Business-wise, monetarily, it's kind of the same for us. So either whatever works for you works for us. It's best for us just the more people who come to our website, the better we are, as far as Google rankings and that kind of thing. So we prefer people to go to our own website.
So when we do things like a sale, we put it on the website, not on Etsy, so that
Right.
we're directing people towards there, and that's why. Just because there are an awful lot of
Also
Dyers.
the dual inventory is when you're dealing with sales and something's going to sell out. It's just easier if it's
oh
only
my
one
god,
place.
yeah, just
So,
one place.
but whatever, really, honestly, whatever works for you guys, I'll take your money however you want to give it to me.
We don't mind. We don't mind. Denise Jeffries is reading the Complete Oz collection. That's my mom used to have all the different books. We love them.
We actually have book covers from The Land of Oz and Ozma
Yeah.
on the wall here. So
When we had our gift store, we worked with a supplier that sold wooden signs that were made from really old book covers, and those were two that we
Yeah.
made sure we got and gave to my mom to put up. What on earth are you doing?
she's trying to clean herself.
The cat is just twitching. She also said finding out where to buy 32 count muslin because she's never cross-stitched. She does embroider and she has lots of supplies. So, and is there a particular needle you use or cross-stitch tutorials? Kimberly from the Fat Quarter Shop does some tutorials on cross-stitching that are really good. If you have never cross-stitched before, I don't know that I'd start on muslin. I might start on Ada just
Yeah.
because the boxes are bigger and the holes are bigger. So,
But any cross-stitch store will have the fabrics for you to purchase.
if you don't have one near you, we get ours from the Ada. We get from Joann's or Michael's
Yeah.
in their
And they
craft
have,
section.
they usually have the even weave. It won't be linen, but they have the even weave in the higher counts. But again, if you haven't done it before, I would suggest the Ada.
Yeah,
I would go with 16 or 14 count Ada just to start, just because being able to see the boxes and figuring out the counting and everything.
and then once you get that down, then
Yeah.
it's much easier to go over. Helen likes to work on muslin. I like to work on or not muslin, linen. I work on Ada, but I like a smaller box, so I do 16 or 18. I have some that are on 14. It's a little bit big for me, but I really like the 16 and 18 count.
I mean, we've said before, 16 count Ada, 32 count linen is like our sweet spot.
Right, and that is the same size stitch. It's just 32 count, you're going over 2 boxes, rather than 16 count, you're going over 1.
Right.
All right. A particular needle that we use, that's not my needle book. We use, I think, John James needles.
Yeah.
We get them on Amazon. You can
I'll
get a
link it.
packet.
I'll link the kind we buy down below.
So you get a packet of 3 different sizes, 24, 26, and 28. 28 is the smallest needle, and that's great for using on the linen and the smaller boxes. 24 is much larger, and that's great for using for 14 count. And then
Yeah.
26 can go 16
26
or
and
18.
28 are my preference.
Yeah, I use the 24 sometimes when I'm doing the 14 count because it's the bigger one, but you'll get onto that as you do it. Paradise Mom wanted to know, what is the name of the shawl pattern you were wearing? This was from episode 114. Helen was wearing the roulotte. I was by Chanel Wu, and I was wearing the Wishmaker shawl by Helen Stewart. Both of those are available on Ravelry. Okay, I believe that is it as far as questions and comments.
We also wanted to say we've been getting several emails from people as they get their orders with lovely, lovely things to say to us.
Thank you guys.
And thank you. We try and answer every single one, but if we miss one, apologize. But we just love it.
Thank you.
so much. It just makes our day.
And I know that when you get a package, it's not the first thing that pops into your mind to write a note, but you guys, it makes us feel so good to know that you love our yarn. So thank you very,
and we understand
very much.
that you've made the effort to go in and write us an email. So
Yeah, thank you very, very much. Okay, just a quick bit of news. We are going to be doing a live YouTube video.
We
Thursday?
are putting the animals in daycare. No, we're not.
Thursday at 11, we're going to have a shop update, and we're going to do it as part of a live update or a live YouTube video. So if you're going to be available, it'll be 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So join us.
We're going to have some bags. We will show the new February fairy tale, which we will start throwing hints out this week on Instagram and Facebook. And we figured we'd do it live so that we can interact as we show the stuff and see what happens.
Yeah. So come join us if you can. 11 a.m. Thursday, this Thursday coming up, and 11 Eastern. Okay. All right. I think that's it, right?
I think so.
Okay. All right. Shall we start by knitting?
Yeah. We each have a finish.
By the way, I got a lot of finishes.
Yeah, we got finishes.
I got finishes. All right. So our first project that we're going to be showing is the Jeremy Fisher socks, the Mr. Fisher socks. This is by Kate Jones of the Bakery Bears. And
this was our Christmas cast on that we did with our other sister, Amanda. Every year we each cast on the same pattern. So Amanda, wear your socks.
yeah, there you go.
I love this pattern.
I did. I really enjoyed
a lot of
this.
fun knitting these socks.
I finished it last night.
I will forever do the little color at the top with the heels and toes because I just love it.
I think it looks fantastic. You cannot tell as much with mine, but I did do mine too.
You get your heel. You get the heel.
And my toe, you can see it a little bit. And there is a little bit around the top, but I chose a color that really muted itself in, which is what I tend to do.
Right.
But okay, so what colors?
This was Christmas at the Hollow. This was from our Christmas 2019 Toad's Tail, and just a red mini. And I love them, and now I get to wear them.
Yes.
And I'm out of socks, which is good.
Mine is Shiny Brights, which was our full skein that came with this year's advent calendar, and the mini is Lollybrock from an old colorway that we did. We both did the pattern coming down the leg of the sock, and then we both went to straight stockinette on.
Yeah, the pattern called for you to do the pattern itself on the top of the foot, but we both opted.
Right. I followed the pattern and did the heel gusset and picking up, the drop heel and everything. And Helen did.
And I did the garter stitch heel that you can find on Knit Pearl Hunter. And then the toe was from the pattern, and it's my favorite toe.
The umbrella toe is a fantastic toe. It really is.
Mostly because you get 4 stitches that you have to Kitchener.
Oh my God. When you get to the Kitchenering, it's so easy. I did mine on a size 2 Chowgu, 2.75 millimeters. I did it on a size either 32 or 40 inch cord because I do them 2 at a time. 40 inch cord, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I do mine 2 at a time, so 40 inch cord for that. And you?
Same thing.
Did you do it on a 2?
It was on a 2 higher.
Ah, okay. All right. How many knitting projects do you have?
3.
3 more?
Yeah.
Okay, I only have 1 more, so go ahead.
Okay. So I am test knitting the Miles to Go hat for Liz Clothier. I'm just not test knitting it very fast. So that's the hat.
This, by the way, is based on a Robert Frost poem.
Yes.
She mentioned that in her comment too.
Oh, okay. I am doing it in She Sailed Across the Ocean from our Fairy Tales collection.
That is so pretty.
Look how pretty that is. So it's a really neat pattern because it's a 16 row, 15 row repeat. I don't know, 15, 16 row repeat. But what you're doing is you're doing a little bit of lace work. And then there's a cable at the end so that the lace work is enclosed in the cable.
Oh, that's pretty.
So it is. It's really pretty. And it's a neat thing.
The cable is showing up really well here.
So it's a nice chunky cable.
Yeah, that's nice.
And I love how the yarn ends up.
That is beautiful. Okay.
Okay, next I am knitting up the Knitting at the Library cowl. We sell kits of these, and we were, in the past, they've been in our Narnia collection, but we have retired our Narnia collection, so we need a new sample. So I am doing it in our Dread Pirate minis.
Our newest Toad's Tale.
Yeah, so, and I have gotten to the first section. Which is
Are
a
you
broken
Going to
stockinette.
do this the same way I did the Princess Bride one, where you use the entire mini, or are you going
Yes.
to do the called for number of
No,
rows?
I'm gonna do, I'll do the whole mini.
Okay.
So, I'm about halfway through the mini right now. This is, the green is not part of the mini collection. This is Acorn from our Lost Words collection, but it just goes so well with everything. So, and I'm gonna go in order of the story. So, this is Captain Kerr, then it'll be Roddy the cook, the first mate, and Henry.
Okay.
So, it's a fun pattern. So,
It really
Mary
is.
Beth had knit them before, both the Knitting at the Library 1 and 2. I'm doing 1 because 2 is in our Princess Bride collection. And they're fun knits. So
It's because you do it and you go to the end of the mini and then you're starting a new stitch.
Yeah.
So that it's not like you're doing the same thing over and over again.
yeah, so
The pattern is by Corey Eichelberger, who is
right,
iRock
sorry.
Knits.
yes. So
Okay.
that's that. And then, do you want to go? Or
No,
should I
no.
just-
Go ahead, and
Okay.
I'll go after you're done.
So I just wanted to show my socks that I am going to be working on now. And these are my scrappy socks. I'm using a bag of our blurbs, which are our leftover bits, and just doing scrappy socks. So I picked those up again once I finished my Mr. Fisher, because I wanted to go on to the next one because the Mr. Fisher is a set of 3 patterns
right.
from Beatrix Potter, and I'm like, oh, I'll just go on to the next one. I'm like, no, I should really finish the socks I've started.
Yeah,
So-
I have my socks that I'm going to be picking up, but it's just basic 3x1 ribbing
Yeah.
going straight down the sock.
So this is just straight stockinette, and what I do is, as you can see, I started with the purple on this sock and the aqua, and then when I swapped them to the other sock. And then I do a slip stitch when I change, so it's just a little bit of a difference when I change.
Cool.
So easy peasy knitting.
Very cool. This is my easy peasy knitting because it's just garter. But I am continuing work on my garter blanket. And of course I'm in the
pretty.
middle of a row so that it looks like a little skirt now. Maybe I'll sew it up
There
and
you
make
go.
it into
You
a
can
skirt.
make a skirt.
Yeah.
Rhinebeck.
These are minis that we got from last year's, or 2 years ago, 2018 advent calendar from Cardinal Fiber Company, and I absolutely love them. I am just knitting till I get to the end of the mini and then tying into, or knitting in a new mini. But I've added a couple more different colors since the last time I showed it. So that's where I am. And this is, when I say I fall into knitting at the end of the night because I'm tired, this is it. Oh, we had a couple of people who said, do we use pointed or tips for the end of our needles? No, I do not.
Where's the fun in that?
I know.
You can't drop stitches if you have tips on your needles.
I lose them. I start using them and then lose
Where's
them.
that
And then,
cats who take them?
yeah. We
That-
should check
that
the
has
cat
been-
food bowl.
The problem in the past was my cats always took them. So
All right, so that is it as far as knitting is concerned. Moving on to cross stitch.
yeah,
Moving on to cross stitch. Let me get my pile.
I feel like we should have like a ooh, cross stitch.
Okay. All right. I haven't finished.
Yes, Meredith gets to go first. 'Cause she's
I haven't finished everything. I finished my Field Mouse Hollow by Brenda Gervais.
So see, Witchy Wednesday pays off. She
Yeah.
finished something.
And it's not fully finished yet. but there it is. Doesn't it look
It looks
cool?
fantastic.
I love it so much. So what I'm going to do is it's on foam board. I'm going to finish glue. I have to glue it on, and right now it's just pinned. But I'm going to glue it on, and then I'm going to do another foam board in the back with some fabric. I'm not sure. I have to figure it out. I have not gotten down the final finishing bit because I also have a spring one that's waiting and my winter word that's waiting. So it's
I love the process. Not the finish.
The finishes. I need a finisher. Yeah. I need Priscilla in my closet that I can just handle things periodically. Okay, so that's my finish. But I'm very excited with. I mean,
that's so cool.
Look at it. It's so pretty. I even put the shoelaces on. So pretty. Okay. All right. How many do you have?
3.
Okay, I have like 7.
Oh, I have 3. I didn't do that much on the Christmas, so I won't bother about that one. Okay. So 3.
All right.
Go ahead.
I'll just do mine and then you do yours. All right. All right. For Fairy Tale Friday, I'm doing Red Riding Hood by the Primitive Hare. And I am using fabric from Color and Cotton. We're part of their club. This is 16 count Aida in the cucumber colorway. And I have gotten a bit of the wood done.
That's really cool.
So that is where I am with
Looks
that.
fantastic on the green.
It really does. It's so pretty. That's that one. Then for Sampler Sunday, obviously we should be beating Helen. All right. This is.
I'll pull that.
Okay. The New Year Sampler by Owl Farm. The New Year Sampler by Owl Forest Embroidery. I am doing this on 18 count Aida from Fortnite Fibers. And that's how far I've gotten. So
again, the colors are gorgeous.
Yeah, and they look really, really pretty on this fabric. I have gotten this flower completely done down here. That's what I was working on. This is a long one. This is going to be quite a while to finish. So that's my sampler. Okay. Then Sampler Saturday is the Woodland Sampler from Just Cross Stitch Magazine 2017. That is where I am. That's what I'm working on. And this is how far I've gotten. I finished up the rabbit. I added the bear and the whatever this is, you call that goes across the entire thing, that little finial thing. So that's what I have done on that one. Okay. My New Start Tuesday, because each Tuesday I'm picking something from that I had started during Mania or over 2019 and working on it. This is by the Little Stitcher, and I am doing the Wizard of Oz. I picked this up. So when I had picked this up, I had finished the wording, the Wizard of Oz, and then I had started doing the Tin Woodman. So I have done all of this over here, including Dorothy, Toto, and a couple of flowers.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm really really happy with the way this is going, and I love working on this. When I finished, I only had a very little bit left to do for Witchy Wednesday, and then I picked this up because I figured, which it fits.
Yeah.
So I actually may keep this as Witchy Wednesday,
Oh, okay.
and that'll be my Witchy Wednesday
Yeah.
for a while. See how things go. That's that. My Merry Monday that I am working on something Christmassy is my next in the hometown holidays. I am working on the pet store. This is by the Little House Needleworks, and this is what I've gotten done so far. So I finished up the door and I put in the second window, and I am continuing on with that. So that was Monday. And then my freebie that I have a day where it's kind of free. I am continuing with Fast Food by Madame Chantilly. And I have gotten, a very strong needle that is attached, or a very strong magnet that has attached itself to my scissors. Okay, and I'm trying not to lose the needle too. All right, I'll just tuck this in here. All right, so with this morning I finished up my second sheep.
Cool.
So the big question is, this is 4 sheep.
That's it.
That's it. I really think
I think you're doing 3 sheep.
the pattern calls for 4 sheep. I really think I'm only getting 3 sheep in. It's going to be a lesson in maybe you measure a little bit better. So that's where I am right now.
3 sheep, 4 sheep.
Do you know what it was? I cut this in half because it was so much fabric. I was supposed to do it this way, I'm pretty sure, instead of this way. And if I had done it this way, I might have had enough. I don't know. Anyway, that is where I am. I think it's just going to wind up being 3 sheep. But the 3rd sheep will fit perfectly.
Also, I think you did it thinking it was 16 count, and it turned out that it's really 14.
Yeah.
I think when you measured, you were thinking 16.
Yeah. So, I don't know. We
Yeah.
shall see. It is what it is. I love it. So, if it's 3 sheep or 4 sheep, it's okay. I
We'll
don't
just
care.
do up the 4th sheep as like
A little bit.
a middle square on a bag or something. like
Yeah.
that. So,
It'll be pretty.
yeah.
So that is my cross stitch.
Okay.
That's where I am. So doing the days has actually really kind of worked for me. And I've worked on the Wizard of Oz a couple times at lunchtime, but other than that, I've pretty much stuck to whatever the day was, and I've gotten quite a bit done. So
Yeah.
I'm really quite pleased with that. Okay. All right, so my first is my
Emerald City sampler by Owl Forest Embroidery.
boy, your stomach growling. Now I'm hungry.
know. Let's finish
Okay.
fast. Talk faster. I'm doing this on 32 count linen from Color and Cotton. And look, we have a twister. And most of a house. I still have to do on the house, I have to finish filling in that door there, but I ran out of thread and the thread was across the room, so I moved on to the twister.
God. That's ridiculous.
But I love, as Mary Beth said, there's so much movement in that twister.
Really?
It is really a great design. So,
And this is a free pattern on
Yeah.
her
website.
Her website.
Yeah. So
Very
I'm-
cool.
I'm really liking doing that one. Camera ran out.
Blathering. Okay. Next up.
Next up is my Cinderella, also by the Little Stitcher. And I'm getting fairly close here. This is on 18 count Ada.
Oh my God. It looks so pretty.
So I have the carriage. I just have
Her dress
isn't that just
gorgeous.
spectacular?
Oh my gosh.
So I have to fill in the carriage, and then there are a couple mice, and that is pretty. Oh, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Then I just have to do the border going across. This border gets repeated down across the bottom.
Okay, so the carriage is really nice and easy because it's already blocked out for you. You just fill in.
And I've done all the vines, and everything. There's a little bit in here. There's a border of white for the window, and then a silhouette in the turquoise.
Okay.
So I'm finishing those.
So I think that's the
curtain.
The curtain in the carriage.
So that then I know it's just orange. Whatever doesn't have a stitch is orange.
Yeah.
And it just makes it really easy.
Oh my god.
And then there's a mouse down here, and a mouse over here.
In the back, right?
Yeah.
So pretty.
Really love it.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like actually to the point where I'm like thinking, how am I going to finish this? So, and I haven't come up with anything.
We'll have to figure it out.
Yeah. Very like that. And then I just have.
Hey, did you make a choice to do this in brown rather than the different color orange?
Huh?
Did you make a choice to do that in the brown to make it really show?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's really going to pop.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
And then I have my Spring Moon by Alessandra Adelaide. Which is my really big project. That's what I have so far.
Wow.
So I'm starting to come down here now for the crest of the crescent of the moon.
That is so pretty.
I love this so much. And again, I'm running out of threads, so like I was doing the blue this morning and I ran out of blue, and it wasn't only across the room, it was in another room. So,
You can't have that.
so then I came up here and started doing some of the green. So
Well, that's what's really cool when you've
Yeah.
got all these different colors.
exactly. So
With Red Riding Hood, it's pretty much
one
Garden
color.
Gate.
Yeah.
That's it until I get down to the bottom, and it's. We just placed an order with for floss because I'm gonna need a lot of it, and
Yeah,
I'm almost
actually,
out.
All of these are out. Anything where there's hole, there's no thread. I've used up all the thread, and I just have to replenish it on my card. But
Right.
so
Okay.
that is my cross stitch.
So really loving this cross stitching.
Yeah. Wish my eyes held out longer.
I have glasses in just about every bag. Like 3 times glasses
Yeah.
so that I can keep it up. All right. Moving on.
Moving on.
All right, let's get on to sewing.
We have finishes.
We have finishes. So we are both quilting. We have some quilting to show. And, well, the first thing is...
Ta-da!
This is my finished quilt. This was a jelly roll that I got from Joann's. It's Marvel Superheroes. You may guess who this quilt is for.
It's for me!
It is a child-sized quilt. I did the border in a fabric that we had. I actually used the back side of it just because I wanted it lighter. So, and I think it offsets the quilt as really well. There were a couple of different, oh, there you can really see some of the Marvel Superheroes. So I just did strips that I did straight across, and then I turned...
You sewed the 4 strips together.
Right, and then I did some going across, I did some going up and down, some of them are upside down, it doesn't matter. And then I backed it with For those of you that know our bags, this was fabric that we had for a piece bag that we did last year for Woodstock, the 50th anniversary of Woodstock. So I backed it in that, and then I had just some green flowery ribbon because I'm instilling girly stuff into these boys if I have to. That I used as my binding. My binding is so wonky, really, really wonky. But that is one of our Christmas presents that are about to be sent down in January, but we didn't get to see them for Christmas this year, so.
And they didn't make it up. They're having illness issues. They were supposed to come up in January to do Christmas, but.
And they're all sick.
Yeah.
So we're gonna just stick them in the mail and send them down. So this is for one of the boys. So that's my finish.
And then for the other boy, this one. So I had done this quilt top last summer, and it just sat waiting to be quilted because I thought with the machines that we had, the machine quilting was going to be a pain in the neck. But now that we have our new machines, I decided it was time to quilt it, and as Mary Beth said, oh, well, we should send them down, because when I originally did this quilt top, it was going to be for their beds here for when they come to visit, but we figured, you know what, let them use them all the time. So, and then I backed it in a purple batik that we had left over, and the red and white polka dot again, it's from our scrap bucket. And my binding came out pretty well.
Yeah, yours is good.
So
very pretty.
Yeah. So very excited.
Yeah.
I haven't
They're done.
done, and
We will pack them up and send them on their way.
well, first we have to take pictures of them.
Yeah.
So, 'cause, if it doesn't go on the gram, it didn't happen.
Besides, we're trying to keep a quilt book this year so that we can see what we finished. So,
Yeah, I have
oh my goodness.
we have a stressed out dog flat on his back. Okay,
So
so
happy.
the last bit is we are doing a quilt along on a Facebook group. And it's just between me and Mary Beth and anybody else who wants to join. But we wanted to do like a block of the week kind of deal. So I am doing the Farm Girl Vintage sampler from Lori Holt's Farm Girl Vintage book. And it's pretty much taking each of the blocks from the book and putting it into one quilt. So I am...
You're doing it alphabetically, right? Not in order of the way she does it in the quilt.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just going
Page by page,
Yeah.
right?
So
So you did the
it's
apron strings quilt block.
Can't hold that up.
I can hold up the picture.
No, it's got the cuts.
Oh, okay. So here. You did,
Well, I'll show them.
okay. So the apron strings.
So that's this one. And I'm using just scraps for this sampler. I'm going to try and keep the scraps all in like this color family, and these fabrics will show up again and again because I have scraps of these fabrics.
Okay, and then the second one is
The Autumn Star.
the Autumn Star.
And oh my god, this one has so many tiny pieces. And I just have to tell you, ironing is the best thing in the world. Because when I was done this, I'm like, I don't even know why I bothered putting this together, Mary Beth. It just looks terrible. And then I ironed it. And it doesn't look that bad.
It doesn't look bad at all. It looks really, really good.
So I still have 2 more to go for the month of January.
Piece of cake.
But at least I got them started.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. And I think actually this one is probably going to be one of the most difficult ones, just because of all the tiny pieces. And she calls for the 6-inch blocks, so I am doing for the sampler. It's the 6-inch blocks because there are so many of them. And next up is the chick. So
Cool. All right, I'm doing mine. I'm doing Quilty Fun by Lori Holt, and mine are rows. So row 1 is these tiny little 4 blocks of color. And I finished mine this morning, and it's in timeout. Because that's the way it looks. It's really pretty, but look here, you can see it right here.
Cranky.
It's I tried to trim the sides and even them out. However, I did it folded over, which was my mistake. I should have done it instead of doing it like this and trimming both at the same time. I should have had it open so that I could really see what I was doing, because you can see it right here. There's a definite jog up where it's not going to match properly. So this is in timeout. I am going to cut them again and just do it over again. It did not take that much time. I have plenty of fabric, and I'm going to do it so that it's right, because otherwise, it's going to be, I have all the fabrics that now I just have to, they're cut to 3-inch strips. So all I have to do is cut 3-inch squares to start. That part is even done. So I am doing this in, that looks very cute actually. I'm doing this in Rose Lane by Riley Blake.
The colors are spectacular.
I just love those. So I'm going to just recut it and do it again next week, and it's going to be, I'll get it right, because it will bother me. And then our second quilt that we're doing is the Ultimate Beginner Quilt. That is a free quilt pattern on Fat Quarter Shop. She not only has the free quilt pattern, you can download the block pattern and tutorials, video tutorials for each of the blocks. There are 9 blocks altogether, and then she's got a tutorial for putting it all together. I am doing mine in Small Things, Country Creatures by Lewis and Irene Fabrics. Here is a sample of some of the fabrics. They're all little creatures. And the first block is just 4 strips. So that's my first block. But I love this fabric. This collection is so pretty. This one I didn't have a problem with.
I was gonna say, I did this. And then, okay, now I'm doing the 4 rectangle.
Right.
Mine is I got a Fat Quarter bundle from on Breezy Lane, the Little Clementine collection. That's mine.
Oh. Love those.
And I do. I love the colors. I love the bear riding his tricycle.
I love him up here.
Yeah.
He's so cool up here.
And in this Fat Quarter, there's a rabbit riding a bicycle, which will show up later. Just didn't make the cut into the rectangle. So.
Love it.
So easy.
Yes. Well, it's the Ultimate Beginner Quilt, and somebody left us a comment and said that she's not going to do that, but she's watching the videos for the tips and tricks, which are great, because even if you are not a beginner quilter the way we are, sometimes you don't know all the tricks or tips or things like that. And having somebody else say, hey, if you try and do it this way, it goes together easier, and it's something that I really need to work on.
Plus, a quick, fast, easy quilt.
Yeah. And I'm using fabric that I adore.
Yeah.
So what's wrong with that?
We're using fabric.
Yeah.
Which is
big
thing.
Big thing. Okay. I think that's it.
I think so.
We are done. That is all our crafting for this week. So we will be back on Thursday, 11 a.m. live update.
Yes.
And we will be introducing our February yarns for the fairy tales, and we will be having a bag update.
Yeah.
So you'll see it then.
Yeah.
Okay?
All right.
All right. Have a great week, everybody.
Yeah, go forth and create, everybody.
Yeah, make something beautiful.
Yeah,
And
we gotta go eat.
Yeah, oh my God, I'm starving. We'll see you on Thursday.